love this movie. This movie was great.
Thank you.
You know, what was it like when you read the script for this? Was it such a good read too?
I instantly reacted strongly to it. I loved it. You know, I think it's really, I found it very exciting, the idea of magic in it. I think there's a really great thing to the idea of magic being in the world at all times, and we just kind of don't know about it. And I really loved the sort of, the reaction that both, you know, Alice and her husband have to this teapot, because it's so different. So it's almost like a moral story too, because my character is so vulnerable and gets so manipulated and gets sucked in so deeply by this teapot of dark magic, and whereas John is more nervous of it and afraid of it, and then ends up challenging it, and I think he ends up being Alice's hero.
This was interesting. What would you do if you had a brass teapot?
I got asked that earlier. I would like to say that I would leave it there, but it depends on the day of the month. It depends on the bank statements. It depends on what's going on in your life. You know, I think that's what's going to be really interesting about people getting to see this movie, is I think they will question what they would do. You know, because it's an enticing thing. It's easy, and but it's not the right way to go around things. And that's another thing that I loved about this script, is I really, really, really think it is showing you that money does not make you happy.
Absolutely.
I really, really think, and I believe that as a human. I really believe that.
What would it take to get the audience to come see this movie, and why?
I hope they'll come see it because of its mystical qualities, and because I think it's moral. I personally, as an audience member, like to go and see a movie where I have to question things, where I have to be involved, where I have to almost interact with what I'm seeing in front of me. And I think this movie really, really gives the audience that option, you know? It really makes you think, makes you question things, makes you laugh, alongside dealing with these kind of intense moral issues that I think are quite present in today's society. You know, with people struggling with money, with people dealing with so many different things that are good or bad. It's like, what would happen if this teapot fell into your lap? I don't know. And I think that's a really great thing when a film challenges its audience to think.
Working with Michael, what was that like?
Fantastic. He is so full of energy, so committed to everything he does, and was a huge inspiration for me, because he went for it. He let all his inhibitions down and just went for it with this part. And I love his performance in this so much, because he is funny and he is charming, yet he's so real when it comes to this weird magical situation that falls into their lap. And I think he really, really brings humanity into the film, and I had the best time working with him. I found him, you know, he's one of my favorite people I've ever worked with in my life.
What's a favorite charity of yours, if you have one, and if you do, what might that be?
Charity that I would support, a charity? Yeah. I would like to support finding cures for AIDS, definitely, and I think that's a big one for me. I think charities that help children that are struggling with thoughts that they might not be able to handle and maybe can't find people to talk to about it, whatever that might be, whether it's sadness, whether it's confusion, whatever it's going on, I really support people helping children out with those moments in their life, because I think that's, you know, that you're fragile at that moment, and it's nice to have people to talk to.